ordinary words. This ain't no ordinary song, yeah. The God of serve is greater than the ordinary. So I'ma give them all I have, invincible. Come on, help me say, this ain't no ordinary words. This ain't no ordinary. No, 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 no. The God of serve is greater. The God of serve is greater than the other. So I'm gonna give him all I have. I'm gonna give it all I have. Oh. Let me tell a story about a woman with an issue. Had it 12 long years, didn't know what to do. She heard about a man coming through her town. She fell to her knees and crawled on the ground. Oh, this is what she said, yo. She said, if I could only touch but the hem of his garment, I'ma give it all I have. Moment. Come on, help me say, yo, this ain't no ordinary word. Oh, no it ain't, no it ain't, no it ain't. This ain't no ordinary. Yeah. The God of serve is greater. The God of serve is greater than the ordinary. So I'ma give it all I have. I'ma give it all I have. Oh, let me tell a story about a man from Galilee. Oh, he healed the lame, caused the blind to see. This man, he was betrayed, crucified for you and me. This man only wanted to make us free. Oh, yes, he did. Oh, yes, he did. Oh, listen, y'all. But in 3 days, he rose with all power. Yeah. 3 days, he rose with all power. 3 days. He rose with all power. Yeah. So I'ma give it all I have. I'ma give it all I have. I'ma give it all I have. In this moment. Come on, Elijah. Come on, play. Come on, play. Come on, play. Come on, play. Somebody said, play Elijah. Play Elijah. One more time, this ain't no ordinary. This ain't no ordinary song. No. The God of serve is greater. So I'm gonna give him all I have. I'm gonna give it all I have. Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Mother Georgia, she's back on live, the historic 980 WDDO. All of a sudden, let's go live into the studio with our host, Brenda Sutton.
Hello, and there's my girl, Brenda.
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Brenda
how
trying to
y'all
have
doing?
her face all beat and everything. Brenda, you trying to look cute today, aren't you?
You know what, Johnny? We are very transparent on our show. And I think it's very important. Yes. That's one of our hallmarks. People know you may not agree with us all the time, but we are very transparent.
It's raw and uncut, believe me. Sometimes too raw.
But you know what? The people, and thanks to all our listeners. And by the way, y'all need to hit that share. And probably sometime in the real near future, we're going to be asking for a couple of donations to help us stay on the air. None of us get paid anything. I've never really asked for anything, but I do want to, times are hard. If you can share, spare lunch thing or whatever with us, and you can just donate it to the show, to the people at the WDDO, but so that we can continue to do that. Y'all know Henry's sick and everything. So here I am begging. Can you believe that, Johnny? And Emily, yes. I normally don't do that.
No, you don't.
In fact, I don't think I've ever done it. Have I, Emily?
No,
I don't think so.
But times it's hard. It's getting hard for a pimp.
It's hard out here for a
PIMP.
when they're trying to get the money for the
PIMP.
If they kind of looking gas for this
PIMP.
It'd be a whole lot of a jumping shit.
PIMP.
Well, anyway, I just want to. Y'all so funny. I just love you guys so much. But I need y'all to hit that share button. If you can't donate, y'all can at least share and listen to us. So I really need you to play. Is that how they do it?
Pass the virtual plate?
Yeah, the virtual plate. The tithe and offering.
Uh-huh.
Hello?
I was going to say the church that I grew up in, which was a Church of Christ. Church of Christ don't use no instruments in their worship. None. No piano, no tambourine, no keyboard, no nothing. No organs, no nothing. And the first time I ever saw people actually having to get up and walk down the aisle to pay their tithes was when I came to Georgia and I visited a church with my friend of mine. It was a Baptist church. And I was like, wait a minute, y'all got to get up and walk up to the altar and pay your money in. And she said, yeah. I said, well, what happened if you don't want to put no money in? She said, everybody just going to be looking at you sitting in the pews. I said, now that's crazy. Where I come from, they pass the plate around. They just pass it down the aisle, like the pew that you're sitting on. You pass it down the pew. If you put something in it, you do. If you don't, you don't. Then you give it to the person in front of you, and it goes all the way to the front pew. And that's how they did tithes. So, yeah, that's a true story. I'd never seen people actually walk down and pay tithes until I came to the South.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I still don't know why y'all do that. Like, why not pass it around? I guess people be stealing. But do people really be stealing?
No. I grew up in the church. We used to take about 2 or 3 offerings. We had the benevolent offering, which we would give to the people in the community that that needed help and stuff. That we gave that, and we would do the tithes. So the benevolent offering was to help the community, and then the tithes was to help the pastor with his salary.
But I think, Emily, what you're talking about, I think that if the brainiacs of that group got together and tried to figure out what's the best way to get more people to participate and to include all the variables that might promote a person to, it's easier for a person to, if you pass the plate down each aisle, then they can sit there and pretend they gave something. But if everybody's supposed to get up and walk up front,
right,
who did not give anything. So people are more apt to get up if they ain't got nothing but a 50 cent.
Uh-huh.
But they'll get up rather than to stay seated and
Mhm.
let everybody know they didn't give anything. So I think that
Well, I feel horrible because I did. I just sat
I'm just
there and let
saying,
everybody
but
else
I think that's a conversation that was had
go. Mhm.
in order to get people to give more,
Mhm.
to get more giving, and people are more apt to get up and give something, even if they had planned not to.
Mhm.
Because if you had planned not to give, and all you gotta do is let the plate slide by you, pass it by, you ain't putting nothing in that plate.
Right.
But you ain't gonna. But if you're a dude and everybody know you got a good job, you know what I'm saying, and you sitting up in that church with your $8,000 suit on and everything, and then they come from tide time, a pay come pay, and you
Mhm.
just sit there and letting everybody out. Nah, you rather get up and go up there and pay
Yeah,
something.
yeah, because you don't want it to be
Well,
Mhm.
frowned upon.
Right.
I well, that's true. That phone. Can y'all hear me? Because I'm on the phone and it'll say, my
We hear
We
you
connection.
we
very
can hear you
well,
just fine.
Oh,
and,
okay.
you look good, Brenda.
You know what, Johnny? And again, going to be transparent. So let me go back and say what happened to my hair, which is not a bad thing. For you all, this is my natural hair, no chemicals, no nothing, just my natural hair. And I used to wear
Just fruits, berries and fruits.
what?
Like berries, like
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy was talking about his hair in that movie Come to America.
Uh-huh.
Like, no, he said, what kind of stuff you got in your hair? He said, no, this is just berries and fruit.
Yeah, fruits and berries.
Yeah, the
Well,
berries.
And
so I
Anthony,
took
yes,
out.
that's exactly what they do.
I used to take and put like a little piece of weave in the front. And so many of our women are suffering from alopecia and things like that, just from just continuously putting weave and it pulling on the scalp. And so my
Mhm.
beautician said that, "Yeah, okay, you can't do that anymore. You're going to lose your hair. So you just
Wow.
got to learn how to just wear your natural hair." So this is
Well,
just,
the good thing is you got that colonizer in you, so you got that good hair, as they call it. You got that good hair. It looked like they hair anyway, so you be all right.
Yeah, and back then, I just got to address Anthony. Exactly, Anthony. That's why I'm saying if the format is for you to have to stand up and walk up there, as opposed to stay in your seat, that's kind of guilting you into getting up and going up. So
Mhm.
exactly.
well, hey, Anthony, how you doing? I'm at home sitting and then the other piece of transparency that I'll make, which I sent to you all, is that I have fallen 4 times in 2 weeks.
Wait a minute, Brenda, you and that wine.
You didn't have to go bust me out on air. You
Well, we
really
were
didn't have
talking
to do
about
it on air.
transparency. No, people. I'm just kidding with Brenda. Brenda does not have a
No,
drink.
no, yes, I
Brenda
do
is
drink
not a
wine.
member of Brenda is not a member of AA. Brenda does not drink. I was just
I do
teasing.
drink. I do drink
Lord,
wine. I ain't gonna tell that lie. You trying to
No,
clean it up
he's
on me?
saying you're not an alcoholic.
that's
Just
all
No,
I'm
I'm
say,
saying.
not an
okay, just
alcoholic.
nod and
No,
just
that's
move
what I'm
on.
saying.
I'm
I
not
was just
alcoholic.
I wanted everybody to
But
know I was just kidding around, teasing.
but
That's all.
I don't know if it's the weather or what, and it may be some people out there that can attest to some of our listeners, but my leg is swollen and I'm like off of it. I'm just
So
I
like
just
when the men say, "Man, you need to see Brenda Sutton. She's swole." So you really
so
are swole.
stupid. I want to listen to the little children in the car who shouldn't be listening, because there's some little children out there that should be listening to our show, because we ain't right. Some kids went to
Supercalifragilistic.
school today.
Even though the
It was
sound
their
effect is
first day of
something
school.
That.
It was their
Uh-huh.
first day of school.
Oh,
I don't know
really?
Right.
when.
That's right. Yes.
That's
Bibb
right.
County's first day of school is today.
That's good.
And
That's
Oh,
good.
and
so,
guess what? Oh, go ahead, Brenda. I got something
and
about
I was
that.
going to say, there were some. I know there's some of the local schools where the fathers went out and greeted the kids. Some of the people in the community. Johnny, I'm really surprised that you're not a part of that, because that's usually something that you do,
Oh, we do.
is
We
to
do.
greet
Yeah.
that you greet the children. When they're
Yeah.
coming in. So,
Yeah,
Emily.
our church adopted Matilda Hartley, and is
Oh,
it
that's
no
awesome.
Pie Ingram. That's what it
Ingram
is.
pie.
The one on Anthony Road,
Mm-hmm.
closer to tonight. Yeah, we go over there every year and greet
Greet the
those kids
children.
and stuff.
Well, sadly, today was the first day of school, and there was a brawl that broke out at Miller Middle School in the
No,
carpool line with two of the parents.
No, you
So
lying,
two
Emily.
women were
You
waiting in the
lying,
carpool line.
Emily.
I
I don't
am not.
believe that.
Wait a minute. Start over. What did you just say?
There were two. There today is the first day of school for Bibb County.
Mm-hmm.
So at Miller Middle School, there were parents, waiting in the carpool line,
Mm-hmm.
and two ladies. I don't know what happened or why they got out of the car and they were brawling. I'm talking about knockdown, drag out,
You mean
fighting.
fighting?
Fighting, yes, fighting, full blown weave pulling, slinging down to the ground,
In
and
front of the children.
and here's the thing,
In front of the children.
yeah, nobody else got out of the car. They just watched and filmed. Nobody got out to break them up. They just sat there
Uh-uh,
and
I don't
watched.
well, because they had their first day of school, mama hairdos, and they were not about to go out there and get them messed up. And it
Yes,
was
sir.
raining
Well,
too.
no, the mamas is one thing. The kids had the first day at school hairdo,
The
but
kid mamas too.
okay,
By the
we'll
way,
think of that.
Emily, and y'all
Yes.
hear me right here on air. I hope that they take and lock their tail up and throw them under the jail.
Very good with the
Because
language.
they ain't had no, I'm gonna say this a lot of times. Black folk will say, "Oh, don't do this, don't do that." Now, y'all need to go in. If I have anything to do with it, I want to make sure that they are punished severely. They don't need to be out there. I mean, that's ridiculous. Well, I ain't gonna uphold them in no mess like that, fighting in front of those children.
You were filming too.
Ain't
Why
got no
y'all
kids,
passing
Miller.
notes and y'all know I can't see?
No, I was just showing him the brawl.
Oh, okay, I'll look it up. But that, Emily,
Mhm.
that don't make any sense.
Yeah, I'll send it to you, Brenda. Yeah, I can't imagine what they could have been fighting for on the first day of school. I mean, and I went over it in my head a few times, like what on the first day of school, other than maybe it was time for the car ahead to move forward and they didn't move. Maybe somebody gave the other one a finger. I'm just thinking like fighting that hard, there has to be some underlying energy to
But
that. That wasn't just
this
carpool.
wasn't
That was
what we were
something
gonna.
else.
This is not what we were gonna talk about on the show, which we'll continue to talk about. I mean, we've got like an hour, but this is ridiculous. That first of all, there's no reason
I
why
got
anybody
right now.
anybody
Mhm,
should be fighting like that in front of children. So,
mhm,
and they grown people,
mhm.
Grown women.
grown women, and
Yeah,
Yep.
let's
then
call it
you
like it is.
and grown women, and then you're gonna go out there and fight.
No, let's do it one better. Mothers. These are mothers that
Mhm.
will, on Mother's Day, be sitting around talking about the love of a mother. Nothing like love, the most precious and mother, and give her Mother's Day everything. And all, and then they're fighting like animals. And they could,
Mhm.
like, I would take either one of those ladies on my team because both of them could fight.
They could really fight good, Johnny. They were throwing it down.
Listen,
They were like,
when
I can
when I
clearly say I could not determine a winner.
when I tell you,
"You're so stupid."
listen, no, really. When she sends you this clip, when I tell
Oh,
you
Mr.
this
Jackson
is
has
better
already
than
sent it
those
to
that
me,
they,
but
boy, this right here, boy. Woo.
I can't watch it while I'm on. Hey, honey,
Right, I'll send it to you later.
My
I can't
God,
watch it.
I'm appalled at my
Mhm.
sisters. Black girl magic.
Don't do that. That ain't black girl
That
magic.
ain't black girl
They are
magic.
black
That
girls,
ain't no
But
black girl
all
magic.
black girls don't possess. Well,
They don't possess it. They don't possess the
but y'all say
magic.
all black women are queens.
No,
no,
we
I ain't
don't
never
say
said
Yes,
that.
that.
y'all do.
No,
Yes,
No.
we
y'all do.
don't,
Have you
Johnny.
ever heard me or brother say all black women
No,
are
what I'm
queens?
saying, women say that all the time.
Well, no,
We are our queen.
We would like to be known as queens. We would like to have that kind of energy. But what
But those are warriors.
by the way, that right there
Where
is
my glasses?
embarrassing. See, let me just tell you this, Johnny. I am embarrassed. I'm
Listen,
embarrassed for those children. And let me just say this: kids are mean. Can you
Mhm.
imagine what those children? Because them people know that was their mama, whatever. Can you imagine what them kids went through? What they're gonna go through for the rest of the year because their mama was out there fighting?
they ain't picking at. I will tell you this. I do not believe any kid is going to pick at either one of the kids of those two
Oh,
mamas.
yes, they are.
No, they ain't.
Oh,
All
yes,
right.
they are too.
All right.
They
Them mamas
they
look
go.
like
They're
they're coming
going
to
to.
whoop a kid
And let
too.
me just say this: like I know, and Emily know this too.
Mm-hmm.
When you do something stupid like that, then the laws change because
Oh,
they're not going to have them fighting on campus. So
that was sad.
instead of being able to pull your kid up, you'll probably have to pull your kid to a certain part, and then the kids walk up to the school.
Oh, that was
Mm-hmm.
sad.
Look,
Yeah,
they don't make memes about it.
I mean, y'all do stupid.
That was sad. When you see this, it was really sad.
What you say, Emily?
I mean, it's sad.
I
Jeez.
mean, I'm
Well,
trying to figure out, get down to the
and I'm willing to bet you that this was.
uh-huh.
I'm sure when you go to like you in the line, and you just like in the days in the car in front of you, pull, and whoever it is got something else to do behind you. That'll make people mad sometimes. They'll like speed
Man,
out in
this
front of
this
you.
one,
Like
this is sad.
we'll have you. I don't like to post fights or whatever like that, but maybe we can post it up on our
Well,
website
that's why I didn't post it. I just
for
I just shared it. Yeah, I
to
just I
share it or
just
something like that. I mean,
It's not a
and
good look. I'll tell you
by
that.
the way, y'all know who the people are.
no.
I mean, I'm sure.
But I tell
Hmm?
you what, I would not want to meet them in a back alley.
Them
Yeah,
Oh, it
girls
was
I
that
can get
think
bad
they
there.
down.
can take me.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Okay, well,
telling you, this is not a normal like few licks and pull a hair fight. A lot of times they just start pulling each other's hair and stuff.
mhm.
Mm-mm.
But Johnny, there
Mm-hmm.
are some schools now that have a dress code for parents coming up to the school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about that? They
They
had to have
should.
a dress code. They had to have a dress code for now. When I was in school,
Because they're
we,
coming up there in the
oh,
pajamas and all that stuff, right?
Leon said everybody has seen it.
The bonnets and the pajamas and all
Hey,
that.
Leon sent me a text. Everybody done seen that tape. Leon, that's embarrassing. I just want to know one thing: why you
The
ain't go up
question
there to
is, what were
referee?
they fighting for?
Well, Leon, do you know why they were fighting? If you know, send me a text because you know everything. But anyway, that's
I
neither
tell
here
you
nor
what,
there.
they were fighting.
Oh, we're out there in front of the kids. Well, I know defects got something on them. That's why I say it's a really bad charge. I don't know what it's.
It's
Child
a bad
endangerment
look.
gonna be one of them. I mean, I already know
It's a
that
bad
because they.
look. I tell you that much.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Johnny.
I'm
So
I'm really upset about it. That's a bad look, man.
And then the thing, it's the first day of school. And,
That's a sad
the
look.
question is, what could you possibly be that upset about? That's why I think this may have been something that stemmed from the neighborhood and kind of carried on. Because, I know people have road rage, but these ladies did not look like they were dressed for work. And I'm not trying to throw shade. They just
yes,
didn't
you are.
look like they were dressed to go to work. So it seems like they were literally just dropping the children off. And so it's possibly something that may have stemmed over from the neighborhood. And one of those things, when I see you, I'm gonna catch you with these hands when I see you, and so on and so forth. But I, I'm not surprised with Macon. I don't even think Macon is a real place.
But
But
this is not. You know what? And this is the problem. I love Macon. We're trying to attract business here. We're trying to pull ourselves up so that we can be, so we can continue to grow and that kind of thing. We can't grow when we have stupid stuff going on like that. What new company would want to come locate here? And then the community is stuff. Stay at school, we had two folks line. So who want to send their kids
mm-hmm.
here to school? Come on now. Because I'm telling you right now, even though mine don't go to school, mine don't go to public school. But if my granddaughter was at that school, she wouldn't be up there long. I'd get her out. Today would be her last day.
Because two parents were fighting. Why would you pull out? Because parents is fighting.
Because I don't want around that mess. I tell you what, let me ask you this. If two parents are fighting, what the heck you think they teaching their children?
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because the children
Yeah.
are a reflection of their home. Not all the time, but that right there, them kids. Okay. So you teaching your child to fight and carry on in public like that. You know, what is his name? Frank Ski. You know, Frank Ski that's
Mm-hmm.
got this show out of Atlanta. He started talking about how black folk done lost their mind. We done lost a lot of respect for ourselves, and we don't want to have a conversation
Mm-hmm.
about some of the nonsense that we are doing as a people. White man not doing it, we doing it to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Going out, short pants, butt hanging all out, going on. They had a black woman, he said, and I'm sure she did too. Her clothes were so short, the people at the plane told her she couldn't get on the plane because her shorts was too short. Then what they did, they turned around and she pulled her and put on her swimming suit wrap on top of it and thought that was okay. Now, what I'm alluding to, some of us have lost our mind, the decorum and stuff that we grew up with, and what you grew up with, Emily, just
Mm-hmm.
not there. You need to take responsibility for that, because what those women did was just uncalled for, and they think they doing something, endangering children's lives and things
I
like that
agree.
out there fighting and carrying on like they ain't got no sense. And then
Mm.
they wreck the children's first day of school. Never what you did to yourself, but just say all the other children collateral damage of what you did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the first, I would say, 3 classes of the day, they couldn't do nothing in the class because the children was talking about the people out there fighting on the way to school. You know,
Wow.
that's been the conversation all day with them children.
Yeah, because I think that the question is going to be is whose mama was it? The
Oh
kids gonna be like,
wow.
that little Johnny mama and Christine mama was out there fighting.
I just
So
got a message. I just got a message that Birmingham offers $500 cash incentives for first day of school attendance. They paying
hmm?
children to go to school. I don't know how to
Mm.
take and put this in the I don't know how to take and put it in the chat, because I'm a remote. Let me see if it'll do it like this. Um
Well,
I don't
this
know how
actually
to
is a
do it.
perfect segue talking about parents to discuss today's topic.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Mhm. So
Because
today's
the
topic
segue.
actually was supposed to be are parents or some parents subconsciously raising
Mhm.
their kids to hate women and hate men.
Mm.
Well, hate each other.
So let me
Let,
repeat
let's
that.
just.
Are some parents subconsciously
That's right.
raising their kids to hate women or hate men?
Absolutely. The communication
Explain.
styles are just so bad. I mean, Emily, and just to
So what
explain what.
what I think
Go ahead.
what she's saying is, or the question at hand, when you say are some parents subconsciously raising their kids to hate women or hate men, basically, you know how, let's just say a couple has broke up and they have a child between the two of them, and let's say the girl is 9 or 10, and all she hears all day long is my baby daddy ain't that. Like, the mama can be talking to her girlfriends on the phone, or the girlfriends come over and visit. Yeah, my baby daddy ain't
Hello.
Jack. He ain't doing this, he ain't doing that, he ain't doing this, he ain't doing that. And this goes on and on and on and on for years. Then the mama gets with another
Oh
boyfriend,
wow.
and she's talking to her girlfriends about how terrible this man is. And subconsciously, this child, not subconsciously, but the child is absorbing all of this, right? Over the years, she's absorbing and absorbing and absorbing all of this negativity when it comes to men. So when she becomes an adult female and she's out there dating, she already has a preset disposition to feel ill towards men. Like, and it could be just normal relationship stuff, and she'd be like, yeah, I knew you wasn't about nothing. And the guy's looking like, I mean, I'm just 5 minutes late for our date. What you mad about? You know? And the same thing with the boys. The boys listen to their dad. Oh, your mama ain't nothing but a garden tool. your mama ain't nothing but this, your mama ain't about this, and your mama don't feed you right. So then you have young boys that are growing up to dislike women, or not to dislike women, but to it's a subconscious thing. You plant it back in your subconscious, and when you become an adult and manifesting, men just not treating women with respect, and then girls not respecting themselves, therefore not respecting men, and thinking that every man is a dog and every man is this. And so it goes both ways, definitely down the aisle. So that's kind of what not kind of, that's pretty much what the topic is, what she's asking. Like, are these mothers and fathers actually doing this without realizing that that's what they're doing?
I think that's very possible. I think that we've become so individualistic as a society. I think that is a lot of the problem. I think a lot of that problem stems from the idealism that that the individualistic thinking. I just think that has a lot to do with that,
Mm-hmm.
because then you don't associate yourself with group failure, or we could do better. You just say she could have done better, or he could have done better. You don't say we could have done better, because if it's we, you tend not to go for 5 minutes talking about how inadequate we
Mm-hmm.
were. But if it's about her, or if it's about him, you'll spend all day talking about how she doesn't do this, she doesn't do that, she doesn't do that either, and she doesn't, and she never did, or vice versa. He's not good for anything. He doesn't do this. He's not a good this. He's not a good that. He never is on time. So, but if it became more of a we program, I think that what the kids hear would, sometimes it's just simple fixes, I think. And I think that, again, that individualism is like one of the biggest reasons why we are suffering so many failures in the Black family, in society in general.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
I really do think that train of thinking,
Mm-hmm.
that way of life now, you know, I'm gonna do I do me, you do you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never a group effort. And if it's a group, you tend to want everybody to succeed, because what everybody else does affects the whole group, and you're part of the group. But if he fails, then you don't care, because that's him that failed. But if
Mm-hmm.
it's the group, and if it's a group approach, and you see him failing or her failing, you tend to be more helpful to keep them not to fail, as to expound on what they're failing at. That making sense?
I think so.
I'm, I just think we just too much into individualism, which can lead to what you all are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think because everything, the symptoms are one thing, but the cause, and that's why I try to look at things about what's the cause of it. And I
Well,
think
Mm-hmm.
individualism is a lot to do with how we ended up with those symptoms of, because those are symptoms that we cause or say things around kids, and do and say derogatory things about our mates, the dad or the mom. Those are the symptoms. But what caused that? And,
hey, can y'all hear me?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I finally got back. This is a pet peeve of mine. And you said, what's the symptom? Let me tell you what the cause of it is.
Okay.
A lot of people hate their mate, or want to get back at their mate so much that they use the children as pawns, and they say all kind of things about the
Oh,
about the about
you
the
mean the
other
ones
one.
that have split up? You mean the ones that have split up?
They can be split up or just in a fight. They ain't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
got to be in a fight. I mean, didn't necessarily got to be married, but they talk trash. The communication is not there. That's really what caused the fight today. it was a communication lapse. They could have talked, they could have worked it out, but they chose to use their fists.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that
that's
they did.
and I'm just telling you. So you say, what's the cause of the people don't know how to communicate? That's the cause of it. And not only that, sometimes they don't want to communicate except with their fists.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not make it like, oh, it's society, it's this, is that. Now, some people, that's what they like to do. They grew up around it. Their mama was fighting and cussing folk out and things like that. That's just what they did.
But my commentary was about what say it again?
The topic are some parents subconsciously raising their kids to hate women or men.
That's what I was
And
commenting
by the
about.
way, and you're talking about hating. I mean, really, Emily, are we teaching our children to hate themselves? Are we subconsciously teaching them to do that with the
Mm-hmm.
way that we communicate and things like that? Have you ever sat down, Johnny, seriously? And I know I have. I have to pull up. Have we actually, how many of us have sat down and actually heard what we said to our children? I mean, really listen to some of the way we talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's
You know
bad.
what? That's a great statement you just made because, like, for instance, I don't think people take the time. I've seen this before. Like, okay, so the parent has boys and girls for children, and they could be talking to the little girls in one way, and
Mhm.
then the girls might walk out the room and the boys walk in the room. To me, you got to change your whole scope of your conversation because you don't tell, like, if the girls in there, you go, "Ooh, you look pretty," but when the boys come in, you say you look handsome. But I've seen it where the girls continue to tell that when the boys come in, they keep saying, "You look so pretty, son," and then it, I don't think we pay that, and I think that's because they're not paying attention to their surroundings. They're just into what they're into, the individualism again. Because I see that as a very confusing thing now in our society, because we don't pay attention to the children and the differences in the children anymore.
Well, see, Johnny, you call it individualism. Don't you just go on and call it what it is, selfish?
Selfish.
I mean, just stop using them big words. You get
Yes,
on us
ma'am.
about using big words. Y'all,
Yeah.
I'll not say that. The people don't know what all that means.
Well, these
What that means?
selfish folk.
That's there you go. Selfish. And that is it in a nutshell. And so if you talk trash all the time, let's say if you talking trash about the man ain't this, man ain't that, just dragging, then what kind of respect do you think that child is going to have toward a man or their father? They're not going to
That's
have
right.
any.
That's
And
right.
you can't expect it. All you doing is drag them and say he ain't nothing. How many? And it's the
Okay,
people.
so Anthony said, yes, usually in broken homes,
Mhm.
and many times in places where the parents have had a negative experience with the
Come on.
opposite sex themselves. There may be other factors such as those Johnny mentioned as well. On a
Mhm.
larger scale, this is also a result of the breakdown of the Black family. The children are a result of the environment and actions of many of the parents and what society says is acceptable now.
That's right.
So
And
that's interesting.
that's interesting because just like what happened today, I won't say what happened back in the day, but Johnny, I don't believe it would have happened back in the 60s. I know that my mother would have never gone to school and fought.
Oh
Emily,
yeah, no.
Sandra would never have done that.
No, no, no. Some things that this is definitely a result of new age parenting. It's a result
Yeah.
of social media. I know I'm always on my social media horse, but I think that has a lot to do with it because social media will push you, will egg you on, especially if you're a person that's easily influenced. You'll look at, and everybody wants to be, like, yeah, I jumped out and I beat her up, and yeah, this is what I did, and so I can guarantee you those two women that was fighting, they went to social media to talk about, I did this and I did that. They posted it on Twitter, they posted it on TikTok to get the likes and the views. Because in my mind, uh, what is it? I still want to know what they were actually fighting about. Um, so social media plays a huge part in how we interact with each other in real life.
Right.
Because you and I both know before this social media mess, I mean, people fought, but it's nothing near what's happening today. Because you know, I posted a picture and Johnny liked my picture, or he hearted my picture, right? Then my baby daddy see that Johnny hearted my picture and he confronts Johnny and they start, it's just silly stuff.
It
Or
is
vice
silly.
versa. I heart Johnny's picture and Johnny's girlfriend decides she want to jump on me because I liked too many of Johnny's pictures. Is this social media thing got folks just acting a
And
fool?
I'm gonna say this. Some of the conversations you have at home, and I'm just gonna talk about the baby daddy and stuff, and things like that. And you got a young man, and out, or a young girl or whatever, and you got her to where she don't even like men.
Mm,
Now, I'm not saying that causes homosexuality, but I think it may be some contributing factors. We may need to have a conversation about it some other time. The little girl don't even she don't even want to be bothered with no man,
mhm,
based on what her mama keep running around there saying. And mama not really thinking about it. She just like, I can't stand your daddy. I can't
mhm.
stand no man.
And it's super,
You know,
super important.
That
that's
does
Um,
happen.
it happens more often than not. And I made a point, and I wish Jimmy was here. I could have had him call in, but I made it
uh,
a point, as when Jimmy was a child, to never say anything bad about his dad in front of
come on,
him.
Emily. Come
And
on.
I mean, I would let him go with his dad. Well, he would go during the summers. He would go to Virginia. Every Thanksgiving, he would go to Virginia. As much as I had an issue with his father, and I thought his father was, it's at a certain point the worst thing walking the planet. I never mentioned an ill word about his father negatively to him, because I always would say, when he gets old enough, he's going to figure it out on his own.
Well, you and you and the other minority of women like you, because a lot of women will lambaste and them will talk about that dude in front of those children like it
Mhm,
ain't
mhm.
nothing.
And I
And
think it's wrong. It's wrong
and I
because
think it's
my
wrong too.
issue with his father has nothing to do with
Come on, Emily.
him and his father. If his father is being a good father
Mhm.
to him, my personal issues with your daddy ain't got nothing to do with y'all's relationship. As long as he's not
Oh,
harming
you're
you
right.
or hurting you, the way I feel
Thank you.
about your daddy
And,
ain't got nothing to do with you.
But you
and
are
by the
in the
way, and,
minority
and,
as
and
far
what
as
you
women go.
and by the way, and what you can't do, and I'm just saying this, I didn't allow my children to talk about their daddy to me.
Hmm. That's
Oh no,
right.
Mhm.
you can't, because they're still your daddy. Now, what going
That's
between your
right.
dad and me, that's one thing, because
Mhm.
I didn't get along with Carl. But the children had to respect their father. So we were talking about communications that subconsciously make children hate men and hate. It's those kinds of things. You have to instill into them, respect. That same go for the daddy. If you have
Mhm.
the child, you be careful about what you say in front of them, because your conversation can really, affect them in a negative
Mhm.
way.
And I
And
think it's so
mhm.
low down, especially,
Ooh,
and this
yeah.
is just my opinion. I
Mhm.
hate to see a man talk about his baby's mother, or the
Thank you.
mother of his children. I think it's so low class. And in the back of my mind, at one point you liked this woman, or possibly loved her, or
Hmm.
you were married to her, right? You liked her enough to lay down and have a child with her. So when you go, it's just something about when a man does it, it just gets up under my skin and it's almost nauseating. And I'm like, you were once in love with this woman, and you loved her enough to give her a baby or have a child with
I
her.
loved her for 7 minutes.
And that, right,
No, two.
puts on glasses. Um, you know, see,
I'm just saying, it was a hookup. Your Honor, I just went out with my boy, and we were drinking, and one thing led to
Stop
another.
it.
And then when you get the woman side, she say, well, me and my girls, we were just out and we were just having fun. And then Keisha went with him, and then I was just over there by myself. And then he came over, he was talking so smooth and everything. He bought me about 3 more drinks, and now we got a 3-year-old.
And that is an exception to the rule, because although that happens,
A lot.
it happens,
A lot.
but we're talking generally in you know, and even so, even if that is the case, because I have a good friend of mine who literally got pregnant with her daughter from a one night stand, and still to this day she's never uttered one negative word about that guy. You know what she's always told me? That was my choice. I knew what I was doing. I
And
knew that I
and
was doing it without protection. So, with that being said, you have some women that like, hey, I did it. You know, ain't no point in me talking bad about the daddy. But my whole point is being conscious and being aware that as a guy, this is a woman that you at least once cared for. You cared enough to lay down with her, whether you
Mhm.
were in a short-term relationship, long-term marriage, etc., and to go around town talking bad about your baby mom is like, come on, man, that's a bad look for
And
you.
then too, and that kind of
To me, that's
communication,
just that, and that make me, that's a turn off for me as a female. It's
me
like,
too, me
dang,
too.
so if I make you mad or we break up, that mean you gonna go around town talking about me. It's, to me, that's woman stuff. You
And
know, women, we bump our gun, we run our mouths. To me, when I see a man running his mouth like that, that's just, it's just
and
male
then
culture
too,
to me.
Emily, remember back in the day, Johnny, you remember it too. We were not allowed to be in the room when grown folk were talking.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Back up off the camera a little bit, Brenda, so we can see your whole face.
Okay.
There you go.
I look at, I got to hold it all the way back. Y'all know I got a bad arm. I fell on that one too. But part of the problem is y'all so and you know I can't see 'cause I ain't got my glasses on.
You know,
But
it's the mass unit over there.
y'all so low down.
It's the mass unit over there.
But but the bottom line is you we need to stop saying so much in front of the children.
I correct. I believe
You know,
in that.
I'm just saying is stop talking so much in front of them.
Well, you
If
know
you
what?
got to
Another
say
thing,
something low down, you feed it, you pour into your children.
but
We
we're leaving,
pour into our children, good,
Brenda,
bad, and indifferent. Hmm?
Brenda, we're leaving out some major stuff like the information highway. See, a, a a lot of that stems from also from these kids and these phones and these tablets and all that stuff, and the
Mm-hmm.
parents allowing them to have them and getting again. I make a general statement all the time that these kids have too much information and not enough knowledge, and
Mm-hmm.
that is one of the greatest weapons that whomever the weaponizer
Mm-hmm.
is got against us now. These children got too much information and not knowledge. And these phones and the computers and the tablets just feeding them nonsense every day, all day.
And the parents, we allow them to have all of that instead of taking them.
We bought
I,
them.
we
Mm-hmm.
bought
Yeah.
them. And then now and then again, are we teach them to hate it? Number one,
Mm-hmm.
Emily, not necessarily even hate, but are we subconsciously teaching them not to know how to verbally communicate with people? Because
Mm-hmm.
texting, you something else. You have with that keyboard, behind the screen.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
I mean,
Ricky
uh,
Crawford.
huh?
Ricky Crawford just joined us.
Hey, Ricky Crawford, how you doing? You
Oh,
we something else behind that screen, but
Anthony just hit a good note. He said, "Yep, it is more popular to shame a black father or mother than to do so. This does not happen as often with white fathers and mothers." That's true. Think about it. I have actually, as I'm sitting here, think about it. I'm 44. I have never heard uh, any of my Caucasian friends talk about they baby daddy. This is me. I mean, I'm sure it happens. I have never heard a white woman talk about her baby daddy. I have never heard a white man talk about his baby mama. I'm
but
gonna keep thinking, but because I
I
got
hear it
plenty of white
all.
friends, that's crazy.
But now I
Actually,
hear it all. I don't hear it from
well,
friends.
that's because of what you do.
That's right. Because I was going to say because of what I do. But as far as
Hmm.
like a lot of the dragon, like number one, baby mama, baby daddy is not really a part of the vocabulary in the white community. That is black
Exactly.
stuff. Now we were the one we coined that. That's just my baby daddy.
That's
That's just my baby mama.
baby daddy. Okay, sorry. Um,
So that
he
came
said.
from us. Go
It
ahead
is
on.
true that it is shameful behavior, but that is not what books, TV, TikTok, or anything else would show as a shameful act these days. Those are the residual effects of reality TV, social media, and their
Mhm.
peers. Who you choose as friends makes a difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And see, Emily and Johnny, we've talked about before the impact of social media. Now, those women, they always fighting on social media. You know,
Mm,
I really honestly, I'm saying this, and this is all truth. I know that they have like basketball wives, and I used to watch
mhm,
Married to Medicine and Atlanta
mhm.
Housewives. I couldn't take it anymore. It was so
Yeah.
unreal. But you know, they fought on TV, and I'm like, why would you do that? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, like you supposed to be real bougie, and y'all
Mhm,
drinking wine, and you have those really beautiful things, and you're looking, this way or that way. And
mhm.
then you go out there and y'all fighting and pulling and cussing each other out, and talk about inappropriate things. Really and truly, our, what we watch, what we ingest have
Mhm.
really built up to these. By the
Yeah.
way, these women are probably on national news. I'm not watching the news, but I'm sure that they made it on CNN
Oh
today.
yeah, they've made it because what I have is off of TikTok. So yeah, it's done made it to TikTok. It's gonna be on somebody's major news, with them fighting. But I think we all have talked about social media and its influence on
Yeah.
the youth today. I do love the fact that I know in Houston County and in Bibb County, they're not allowed. I think up until high school, from primary, elementary, middle, they are no longer allowed to bring cell phones to school anymore.
By the way,
Did y'all
I
know
just
that? That is
they should.
being
Yeah.
enforced
That
now?
that
And it's a thing going around on TikTok, and I don't know if it's true because I haven't validated. So I'm putting out there. Let me just say, alleged. There is a alleged Georgia law that's out that says that if the children go to school and put their hands on a teacher, that they're going to charge the parents. Now,
And
I
I
think,
think they should.
hmm,
you know what? Another thing that people overlook sometimes is that when you get a group of kids together, and let's say you at some school, and maybe 35% of these kids live in a two-parent home, or whatever the percentage, but you got a lot of kids that live in a two-parent home, and their parents get along fine,
Mhm,
and they see the example of what a father is,
mhm,
and they see the example of what a mother is, and they see the example of what a grandfather and a grandmother is, and then they come to school with other kids in that same classroom that have no clue because their mom and their dad are running around with bonnets on, got the pants hanging down to the thigh, and
mhm.
all of that. But these kids are in the same classroom, same environment for from 8 o'clock in the morning to 3:15 or however long the school system keeps them in school now. So you got to take into account what are those conversations like?
Mhm.
I,
Like
you know,
what
that,
is this kid saying about the kids whose parents got the pants hanging down? They've never seen a dad walking around with the pants hanging out. So what do these kids talk about? Do they
it,
Mhm.
pick at this kid? Do they pick at tease this kid and make this kid start having self-hate for his dad? Because he used to just think his dad was cool with the hanging pants. But now the other kids have worked on this kid for a whole school year. And now all of a sudden he hates his dad and his
but you know
mom
what?
wearing the
Let me
bonnets.
just say this too, Johnny. I have seen, and you a real man. Henry is a real man. Henry run his house. And there's a lot of us women out there who don't want the man to be a man. We
Mhm.
communicate that to the children. I'm just
Mhm.
saying. Emily, there's a lot of things about Raymond, but Raymond was a man. And it was
Mhm.
just certain things he didn't allow. It's certain, and y'all tell me if I'm lying, you can almost look at a young man and tell if he got a man in the house.
Mhm.
I know I can. Typically, if they got a man in the
There
house,
there is a
fresh
difference.
out. Huh?
Mhm.
There is generally a difference. Now, there are some women who have done a yeoman's job
I
by
got
themselves, but
on a whole.
generally,
That's right.
generally, and that's no slight on any woman who has done it,
Mhm.
but it's a difference when a dude has been around these boys and they ain't. Just
You know,
every now and then, there's one that comes and makes it out and does,
and does an awesome job.
yeah, but it needs to be the balance. You need to
And
have the yin and the yang.
and
It's better and with with both genders
and
to
I just
raise
saw
children,
I was just
in my opinion.
and Anthony talking about the Kardashians literally cuss their mother out and their behavior is applauded. See, I bust them in the mouth. I wish she would try to cuss me out. I take and turn her little tail over. I'm not putting up with that. And
And
and so
it's very true because I used to watch that show when it first came out before they
mhm,
are who they are now, of course, when it first came out, because I was more or less interested in like, oh my God, this
mhm.
is Robert Kardashian's children. And, he tried the OJ trial,
Yeah, but
Simpson.
it ain't just them because you could go to any mall in any city in the
No,
United
but this
States
was
of
the first time
America.
it was on national
No, I get you.
TV.
No, but,
And
but I'm saying, but everybody's seen at any store anywhere in America where
yeah,
you say, "Come here, little Timmy." No, I'm not going to do it. You stink. We've been seeing that all our lives.
stinky lady.
I'm just saying these little
Hmm.
Caucasian kids been doing that to their parents forever
Yeah.
since we were little kids.
Now I'm gonna say
So
this,
this ain't new. This ain't nothing new with
and
them. The
by the way,
Kardashians did
but
not start that.
Well, no, I think the point he's making, like, it became more widely accepted because
yeah,
we've all seen it, but for the most part, especially in the South, they
No,
pop you on the
I'm saying, but the Caucasian kids have never gotten popped in public. The
but
black
that's
kids got all their teeth knocked out if you was in there yelling or interrupting the
but now
conversation. You didn't
but
see white
see,
kids get hit and jacked up if their two parents were talking and the little white Timmy came over and Susan came over and said, "But mine," the parent didn't go pop,
but
but black parents did.
but you
mhm,
see,
That's what I'm saying.
this is the problem. You have to talk with the children because what some other children do, yours can't do. That's just the bottom
mhm,
line. You know, maybe little Susie could do that with her mama, but
mhm.
Boquita can't do it with hers
That's
because
my point.
she get her teeth knocked down her throat.
That's my
Hmm.
point.
Well, my point is that it's because it's so widely accepted now, like he said with the Kardashians, and that Kardashians been
That's
on
right.
TV, I think 15, 16. Well, no, Jimmy's 26. So at least 15, 16 years. It don't
Yeah.
seem like it's been that long, but they've been on TV for a very long time. And I remember when they first did it the first time, all of the girls were still kind of living at home. So the first time I saw it on national TV, I was like, oh my God. They actually, I mean, and it's one thing, like Johnny said, to say, no, I'm not going to do that. No, you stink. But they were literally cursing, full blown cursing their
Oh, that's
parents
what
out,
I just didn't want to
right?
curse, but these I say
And
stink is a substitute for
it's
other
but
words.
and because they kept putting it on TV, kept putting it on TV, kept putting it on TV, it almost became to a point where something is generally accepted. And that's where it goes back to that subconscious programming. And you see, if they show it to you, show it to you, show it to you, and keep showing
Say,
it to you, it becomes your normal. It becomes socially accepted. So now I'm starting to see Black children do the same thing. And we all be sitting waiting like, oh, we know she finna get popped. And the parent was just like, child, she just having a bad day. Man, she
oh,
just
wait a minute.
tired. And I'm like,
Here she
when
go.
did that happen?
You're right, Emily. Oh, she having a bad day, or he having a bad day. We gonna
Mm-hmm.
go get them some medicine and take them to counseling. My mama would have just said she
Mm-hmm.
gonna go out there and break a switch. It wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have been no counseling or nothing. She'd have just tore my behind up. So a lot of it,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I think that this is a great conversation to have. And then going back to what happened today, then you've got these grown women out there fighting in front of the children as a form of communication. It's bad communication, it's malcommunication, but there again, can't manage their emotions and things like that. And then you wonder why these little children act the way, or why these kids, why some of the folk in making act the way they act. Look at that mess right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, they need to make
Mm-hmm.
an example out of them. It's
Mm-hmm.
and it's out of control. And
Yeah.
and then too, as far as the way that we behave, because I see everything in that courthouse. Y'all know I see it all. It's up there, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things, I'm going to these mamas. Stop talking about the man in front of the children. Stop. You married him like you
Mm-hmm.
said. That's just your. But you go through, you bash him and bash him and bash him and bash him, and then you want to know why this one turned out this way or a particular way. You groomed him. Like, is that grooming? You think, is that like a form of grooming? And you that you're teaching him to dislike, say the opposite sex or something like that.
I mean, I would be interested to see some studies done on that because um I would think that if you're a boy and you're raised by a female and she's always bashing men, you may grow up to hate men and then become
A
what is
female.
it, homosexual.
That's right. And then you
So
want to know.
I'd be interested to see some studies done on that.
I would too, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm real interested to see what's going on with that. Because I just think some folk and I call it like out of control, out of control.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as far as the cussing and carrying on, I've seen it. I think maybe we should have had a teacher or something in that at the schoolhouse to come on there and talk about. Jimmy ain't talking. Jimmy done moved him a whole nother district. The folk ain't fighting in the yard, right?
Mm-hmm. And it. Well, we don't have very much time, but listen,
You think
it.
economics got anything to do with it?
Sandra,
Mm,
Because
wait a minute.
now check this out.
Black
In
children
America,
think
what?
they have been abused.
you can't hear.
Sandra, black children think they have been abused when you give them a whooping. Now,
Okay, it says black children think they have been abused when you give them a whooping. As elders, we go through the comments coming from our own kids saying they have a tough time in life because of us not so to speak teaching them how to save and some of everything else. It's called the blame game. Instead of accepting responsibility when you become an adult and practice deep forgiveness, raising children don't come with a manual. Okay.
I
yeah,
just wanted to say this: that the United States got 340 something million people, and it's 59% Caucasian,
Mm-hmm.
13% African American. But so with all those people, it's $84,000 the average income of the 59% of the white United States citizens,
Mm-hmm.
and $54,000 a year for a black family. So 84 for a white family and
mm,
54 for a black family.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to look at all the numbers, how many more whites are here, and they still averaging that income, that money pool. It's a trip.
but you know
At this
what though,
stage, Black
I think
America's style has
economics
been
affected.
affected by reality TV. To Brenda's point, the laws changed when the Kardashians made it acceptable. We did not parent that way, even when we saw that they did not back in the day. That was a great point, that when we support these things on social media, we unconsciously support changing laws.
oh
I
yeah,
agree with that, but I still
and
say white
and
folk been
look at the
kids been
Kardashians
cussing their
right now.
parents out forever.
Hey Johnny, and look at the
Mhm.
Kardashians right now. She got little North up there thinking she all that. The girl can't dance, she can't act, she can't do nothing.
You leave them
She act
babies
like a
alone,
spaceship
Brenda.
kid.
Brenda, leave them babies alone.
Well, she is what
Y'all
she is.
just come get y'all some groceries. I got to tell him I'm gonna bring in his food. I forgot about his fish. I had to go out of town.
Uh,
All right,
peace.
love y'all.
Love
Peace.
y'all. Peace out.
You've been listening to All of a Sudden. Join them every Monday evening from 5:30 to 6:30. All of a Sudden with your host, Brenda Sutton. That's every Monday. We'll see you there.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Connecting